City Planning Commission. This is for March 20th, 2024. My name is Commissioner Jason Hansen, and I'm the current chair of the Planning Commission. Tonight we're going to start our agenda with a prayer by our city attorney, Thad Siegmiller, and we will follow that with a leading of the Pledge of Allegiance, which I'll go ahead and do that. Thad, if you wouldn't mind starting us off. Thank you.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we convene here tonight as the Washington City Planning Commission, we acknowledge the great blessing we have of participating in our local government in open and public ways that include the public and our neighbors and friends that live amongst us. We ask that Thou would watch over and bless this meeting as we convene and handle tonight's business. And we thank Thee for the opportunity and blessing to do so. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Would y'all please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda this evening, Commissioners, is an approval of our agenda for March 20th. If there are any corrections, please let me know or bring it this time. Otherwise, I'll look for a motion to approve.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I move to approve the agenda as outlined for the March 20th, 2024 meeting.
Commissioner Tupou, I second that.
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the agenda is set for tonight. The second item, we will look for an approval of the minutes from our meeting on March 6th, 2024. You all received those in your packets. If there's any changes or additions that need to be added, please bring forth at this time. Otherwise, again, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from March 6th.
This Shill, I move that we approve the minutes from March 6, 2024.
This is Bullock. I'll second.
We've got a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Those are online as a public record if anyone would like to look those up. Item number 3, this is the opportunity to declare any reason for an abstention or a conflict of interest from any of the commissioners. Typically, this is financially related. If we have a financial interest in any items on the agenda, please state at this time. I do not have any. Does anybody have one? No.
I do not.
Okay. We'll go to our first item for the public as well this evening. This is a public hearing for consideration and recommendation to the City Council for actually, this is the change, Eldon? This one right here? Okay. So this one, even though it's written, Eldon will remind us, but even though it's written that we're sending this to City Council, we're actually going to be the deciding body on this one for approval or denial. So this is a public hearing for consideration for a conditional use permit C-2404 for a preschool facility located at 196 East Telegraph Street. And the applicant is Carol Baer, and I'll turn the time over to Eldon.
Thank you, Commissioners. This property recently received zone change approval to the downtown mixed use designation, and our city code requires preschools in the downtown mixed use zone to obtain an approved conditional use permit. So that's why it's back in front of you here tonight. The preschool will be operated by Southern Utah University Head Start program, which is an established preschool in the area. The preschool will be located on the first floor and is approximately 3,000 square feet in size and will include an indoor waiting area, 2 large common rooms, 2 restroom facilities, 2 offices, and a kitchen area. Outside and on the west of the property, there will be a covered outdoor play area with a misting system along with synthetic turf. This will solely be used by the preschool. This area will be screened from Telegraph, and a new block wall will be built separating the commercial property to the west. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend approval of C-24-04, allowing for a preschool facility located at 196 East Telegraph, or that you approve C-24-04 as shown in the exhibits based on the following findings and subject to the following conditions. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thanks, Eldon. Commissioners, I'll open the floor for any preliminary questions that you have.
Basically the same plan you saw 2 weeks ago.
This is Sheil. I didn't think of it last time, but with the outside play area being on Telegraph, I guess I'm not concerned about any problems, right? I mean, there's a good wall there, but
It's not on Telegraph.
I thought he said it.
No, it's right there. See, it's on the east side of the building, so it won't be, and set back, and there'll be a fence right there in the front.
Okay. I'll wake up.
They're planning to screen that.
I know you do, Doug. I know. Eldon, thank you. Appreciate it. Commissioners, any other questions? We'll hold on to those for just a second. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody here in the chamber that would like to speak to this item this evening? Does not look like we have any takers. We did not have anything submitted online. Is that correct, Melody?
Yeah, no public comments.
Okay. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and I'll turn the time back over to you, commissioners, if you have additional questions or item of information for staff. And if there are none, I'll look for a motion. And again, we're the deciding or the approving body on this particular item. Will not go to city council.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I'll make a motion to approve C-24-04 for the conditional use permit for the preschool facility located at 196 East Telegraph with the 4 findings and 13 conditions.
Commissioner Tupou, I second that.
I've got a first by Commissioner Bullock. I have a second by Commissioner Tupou. Individual voting, Mitchell,
Aye.
Bullock,
Aye.
Tupou,
Aye.
Shield.
Aye.
I'm Hanson. I'm an aye as well. This motion has passed, and we will, I won't say we'll send that to city council, but we won't. We will wish you, the applicant the best of success. When does do we know when this is going to start now that it's had all of its approvals? Is it right away, or do you have any idea? That's fine. All right.
As soon as they can get it done.
They're excited to get going? Okay. Item number 4B, this is a public hearing for consideration for approval as well from this body for a conditional use permit, C-2402, for the relocation of the Sienna Hills sign located approximately at 600 East Merritt Way and Bluffview Way. The applicant is Impact Signs and Robert Wheeler, and I'll turn the time over to Drew for our staff report.
Thank you, Commissioners. This particular sign request was tabled at your February 21st meeting due to the height of the sign that changed right before the meeting began. The applicant made us aware and the height because we made them aware, sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted, that we'd need to go for a height waiver because of the elevation of the sign got up in the 70-foot range because of that sound wall that UDOT has now placed. If you've driven down I-15, you'll see that beautiful piece of concrete work. And due to that, we needed to go higher to be able to see over it. So we took that to the city council a week ago. The city council unanimously approved the height waiver for this sign to be at 70 feet, as you see in the exhibit. Therefore, that takes care of our issue that we had at your first public hearing on that 21st meeting. So staff, with the backing of the council's height waiver, would like to recommend that the Planning Commission approve C-24-02, allowing for the relocation of the Sienna Hills commercial sign that you see in the exhibits, and to be moved approximately at 700 East Merritt Way. And I think the other exhibit shows roughly where that's going to be. And then you can see the photo of, in relationship to the existing RV business. It's about midway down, halfway through their project, and it's this red little line right here is where that sign's going to be, and it'll be 70 feet tall, and right off the expansion of Merritt Way when that does happen in the future. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have, but again, we're recommending approval on C-24-02.
Commissioners, I'll open the floor for any questions. Drew, we've talked about in the past that there's no power, and it's even mentioned here in our packet, there's no power to this particular location. Is that something that should be any inkling of a concern getting power there, or is that going to be everyday course of business for the power company? Or
They'll just work that out with the power company. I'm sure they'll have to run some sort of a feeder. I don't know if they can bring it off of the, I'm sure they have a transformer for the RV business. It's either that or bring it all along from the east, all the way down that. But I would imagine they'll probably find a transformer right across the street or to the west a little bit. So, and they'll just have to take care of that.
There's no reason it would disrupt the RV park or any of the, I guess that's really the only surrounding business.
No, because every road has a 10-foot public utility easement on the edges of it, so we won't need to worry about that either. So, and it's not even built yet, so they'll be able to put it where they need to put it right now. But I would imagine they'll put it in that future easement,
Okay.
when that road is built out to its full size.
I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but I've got to ask this because I thought it last time when I saw it, and it's so dumb that I'm even going to ask this question. The engineer wrote in here, the owner is aware of the noise wall that we placed as part of the UDOT project on I-15. They don't believe the noise walls will impact their sign. When I first read that a couple weeks ago, how would noise impact a sign and why would we care? Like, I almost thought that was a typo or something.
Well, it's the way you interpret the noise wall was there for the sound.
Yeah.
But it impacted the signs because now there's a 12-foot, the first 12 feet you won't be able to see. And in this case, it's actually more than that because there's an elevation change if you've driven out here. It's a 12-feet sound
Yeah.
wall, but then it drops another 8 to 10 feet down to the ground right now where the road's going to go. So you're starting out 20 feet below.
Yeah.
And so that's why the difference had to go up.
So it's the wall, it's not the noise that's going to affect the sign, it's the wall.
That's right. It's the wall that affects the signs.
All right.
And I got a call actually from Yesco Signs just to give you a little further on this. Now the RV company realizes nobody can see their business. They're looking at trying to get a sign up. And I said, well, you'll have to do what, because the sign at their place can only be 35 feet. Well, they're starting out negative 20 from that. So it's only 15 feet and being far back. So they'll probably be, in the near future, I would imagine they'll be probably, applying at the city council for a height waiver to put a pole. They don't have any sign right now because their building was right there and it was on their building. You could see them.
Yeah.
Sound walls there. You can't see the RV business at all. So.
Yeah, just put on the other side.
Well, I promise you, all these are taken by, and again, this is just for the Sienna Hills businesses in the PCD that are back on exit 13. So that was a good point, but maybe they could put a little flag off the side that says,
Yeah.
hey, look at us too.
Arrow.
But these will all be taken up. In fact, they added an extra panel on this sign because to meet all the demand of the contracts they're going to have. So.
Okay. This is also a public hearing. Is there anybody here in the audience that would like to speak to this item this evening? And I'm not aware of anything that was submitted online as well, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing on this item. And then I'll open the floor again, commissioners, for any questions or concerns or comments that you might have. Otherwise, I will look for a motion on this sign or this item as well.
This is Commissioner Tupou. I make a motion to approve C24-02, allowing for the relocation of the Sienna Hill commercial sign as it both in the provided and attached, located on 700 East Merritt Way, with the 4 findings and the 4 conditions in the staff report.
This Shield, I'll second.
I've got a first by Commissioner Tupou, a second by Commissioner Shield. Individual voting on this item. Tupou?
Aye.
Shield?
Aye.
Bullock?
Aye.
Mitchell?
Do I still vote now that Corey?
Yeah, I was going to give him the next one.
Aye.
And Hanson, I'm an aye as well. This conditional use permit also passes unanimously, and wish them luck as well. Item number 4C, this is a public hearing and consideration to approve the revised conditional use permit C-23-15 for a storage unit facility located approximately southwest corner of 840 South, 100 East. The applicant is Rosenberg and Associates, and I'll turn the time over to Eldon for staff report.
Thank you, Commissioners. On October 5th, 2022, the Planning Commission approved this site for the use of storage units. This approval has since expired, and the applicant is now ready to move forward with a few changes. The most notable changes are and include the removal of the 2-story storage units in the middle of the complex, which will decrease the storage unit total square foot by roughly 35,000 square feet. Also, the flex space has been moved to face 840 South and will be reduced by 6,400 square feet with the removal of 2 of those units. The office space has been relocated to Building G, and lastly, the building elevations, product type, and colors have been updated. Also included in this conditional use permit is the request for setback relief on buildings A, J, K, L, M, N, and P, along with the covered RV parking east of building P, with the applicant seeking approval for 0 setbacks as shown in the exhibits. 0 property line setbacks are an option in the industrial zones, but only if approved by the Planning Commission through the conditional use permit process. These buildings and structures will need to be constructed as per the building code requirements. The proposed project is comprised of 1 single-story flex space building, 12,800 square feet in size, 15 single-story storage unit buildings, 170,590 square feet, with there being a total of 501 units, and 2 covered RV parking areas, 14 feet tall, which is comprised of 63 parking spaces. The project will be constructed in 6 phases, as shown in the exhibits, with the roadway improvements along 100 East and 840 South being included in Phase 1. So all of the roadway improvements will be taken care of right off the bat. Also included as part of the overall development will be 4 office rentals / flex space located off of 840 South. These do not need conditional use approval, but just wanted to mention them as they are part of the project. Parking for the flex space is adequate with 26 parking spaces. The surrounding zoning to the proposed development is RA1 and RA half to the north, PUDC to the east, I1 to the west, and I1 and RA2 to the south. Staff is supportive of the project at this location with the building's layout and exterior finishes. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve C-23-15 for the storage unit facility along with the setback relief to 0 feet for buildings A, J, K, L, M, N, and P, along with the covered RV parking east of Building P, and as shown in the attached exhibits. And that's based on the findings and conditions as stated in the report. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thanks, Eldon. Commissioners, floor is open.
This is Shield. What's the construction? Is it metal or is it block, especially on the zero lot line?
The zero lot lines will be block. That'll serve as the wall and the back of the storage wall as well. So kind of a dual purpose.
Block all the way up?
I believe so.
They'll just have to meet the non-combustible
Yeah.
threshold, whatever that would be, so they could do whatever, as long as the schemes meet the approved, design, it could be metal or block, so, but they'll just have to have that, meet that 2-hour non-combustible.
What'd you find out?
He said it's both block and non-combustible metal.
Above the block.
Yeah.
So is the red block and the tan metal?
Yeah, they've got a color labeled on there.
Are you gonna use like the old expired ones too? I mean, is that gonna look like this?
No. Not that.
Then you did,
Futuristic. No, ours is this newer one is the Soto. You've got.
Well, this is the flex buildings, right?
Oh, and the units as well too. If you
That
look
thin
on
down
bottom.
here?
Yeah, that's right. They'll see how it works.
Okay.
So that's the wall. You've got the CM, the two block faces there, and you've got some steel on the sides that you look at.
Yeah, so it's brown CMU, is that split face, all of it, or just, is it gonna be a mix at all or none? Usually the brown is a split face, doesn't have to be, but usually most of the split face is brown, but. Are you gonna paint it brown? Okay. It's like a cut chiseled.
It'll just be standard. I mean, I'll probably be.
That's fine, okay.
Eldon, thanks. We stick around. We probably have some questions, but I just want to make sure we get all the, if there's any other concerns, we can hit those at the same time. Thank you. Commissioners, additional questions that you might have that you want to bring at this time? Or we can bring them here after the public hearing. We'll do that. All right, this is a public hearing, so is there anybody in the chamber that would like to speak to this particular item? Okay, nobody here, and I don't see anything that was submitted to us previously online as well. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and I'll open the floor back up to commissioners, and could you please come up to the microphone and state your name for the record? We might have some questions for you.
I'm Jared Bates with Rosenberg Associates.
All right. Jared, you said, right?
Yes.
Jared, we had, the last time this came to us, we had quite a bit of concern about the zero lot line and then the walls. And so could you just, I know I can hear a little bit over here that they've been asking about the brick wall and the other type of material. Could you just talk to us a little bit about what changed from last time to this time?
Sure. The main changes we had is we reduced the large two-story building that was in the middle of the project and got rid of that just because of expense.
Yeah.
And then as far as the zero lot line, that was on the previous plans. That didn't change there. And then the flex space, the change with the flex space was, when we got further into the design of it, we felt like as drawn originally, the trucks would have a hard time getting in and out as far as delivering materials. So that's why we rotated it and changed the entrance to make it so it would be more user-friendly. So if you look on the new one, it faces the other way. Let's see, right? It faces the north, and so that way they can come in on that entrance and load material on the back side of it if they need to, and then they can come through. Sorry, they'd come in. They turn, if you're on 100 East, they turn left and then go north, and then go around the front, and then come out. So that was kind of the idea, is to make it a little more friendly for the trucks.
Okay. Yeah, the zero lot line was there before. Our big concern, I remember, being fire. I think the fire chief had brought some information up, and so I just want to make sure that's all been satisfied. And Drew, even if it would have to have been satisfied, correct? That the
Yeah, building construction time, it'd have to have shown whatever to provide
okay.
that non-combustible zero property line, parapet wall, all that stuff, so.
Later. Okay. All right, commissioners, did you have any questions from the continuance from last time, or anything new this time?
This Commissioner Anderson, my only thing would be just make sure, since you're doing both block and metal siding, that you've got a plan of how to do the 2-hour fire rating above the block is all. So other than that, I'm fine.
All right, thanks. Anything else, commissioners?
I know Eldon said that the roadway would be done with phase 1. We starting with phase 1? I mean, or are we gonna, because, I mean, it wouldn't, I mean, I'm just saying, I think it should be done with whatever phase they decide to do first, not just with phase 1. I know it might just be a technicality, but the intent is to do the roadways first, whether they start with phase 5 or phase 1 first. I want to make sure that we get the road going in first before we.
Right, yeah, for example, phase 1 will start. We would love to just do the roadway on 840 South, just in front of phase 1. I know that we went back and forth with the staff, and they asked us to do 840 along the entire length, and so I know that's something that.
And 100 East.
Yeah, so 100 East for sure. We do phase 1 first, 100 East happens for sure, and then we would like to, if it was possible, to do, say, just the paving in front of phase 1, and I don't know, maybe do the road in front of phase 2 when phase 2 is done. That's something we went back and forth on.
I think it should be done to start the project. I mean, there's nothing more irritating than seeing half a roadway done. And in my opinion, I think it should be, the roadway should go in first, whether you start with you start building on phase 6 and work your way out or what, but I think that the roadway should be done first, because I would build phase 6 out so I wouldn't have to traffic all the way through it, but that's me. So that's why I say the roadway needs to be done with whatever phase is the first one done.
That's the intent of that condition, is that when they pull any building permit or do anything, that the roadways will just be done.
I just wanted to make sure that.
Point of clarification for me, I always assumed if you have 6 phases, that the first one meant that's the one they start with. So you can actually start with 6 instead of 1, or 5 instead of 1? Oh.
They're just numbers. That's how I had to learn to read it. I had to quit being 1's always before 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in this world, it's just the numbering is a name or an indicator. So I know where you're coming from,
I'm surprised it hasn't come up.
Chairperson. I know.
Hey, it's 2 things I've learned this week. All right. I don't have anything else. Commissioners, do you have anything?
I've got a quick question if nobody else does. I'm just zooming in here because this is important how it looks. So you've got this, well, I'm not sure what color that is because on my screen and what the TV's showing, but this red hued color, it's labeled 8-inch CMU MT brown. But is this a metal panel for aesthetic look or what by these trees?
So the reason for the different color is we needed to pop out. It was one of the conditions that we had met with the staff. So basically, there's a change in as far as color, and there's a pop out. So it'll jump out maybe, I think it's like 6 inches or something. So
okay, but it's just going from brown to tan.
Yes, so it probably shouldn't be red. It should probably be.
That's why I wanted to clarify that it wasn't. I mean, this looks cool. I think but I thought, well, that's probably going to be metal or just to give it, an accent of look.
I think that no, it's mountain brown. But
I didn't say metal. I didn't say metal brown. I just said, you said brown and tan, but it's a reddish color. That's why I'm trying to get verified.
I think it was drawn as red, maybe just to show the
differentiate.
Contrast. Yeah.
The problem with these renderings is, sorry.
Yeah, the reason we want to have it come up is she's taking notes for the minutes.
You bet.
Please state your name.
Tim Stewart.
the problem with these renderings is trying to match materials when you have 8 choices at Sunrock, and then you give these choices and you tell the engineer who's doing them what it's going to look like, and then you give that to him. I have 3 screens in my office. These colors look different on every single screen. So that's the problem. And if you look at the other renderings that I think are a lot nicer, but that firm wouldn't work on the project anymore because I wasn't going to use them for architecture any longer. So I couldn't get them to continue to convert those renderings to these renderings. So I had to start over with a different firm to get new renderings. So that's kind of why they look so different.
No, I have to ask, because, and I want that clarified here in the minutes that we talked about this, because I promise you that someone will show up 6 months after you're done and say, that was supposed to be a red hue, something different. And so I just want it verified here, and that, because I'm sure one of you thought, okay, that looks good. There's going to be a pop of color, and it is, but it's going to be just a different hue of brown, just so you guys are aware of that. And that's why the only reason I'm pointing it out is because, you know, and I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I know why you're doing it, but now I hope that everybody, was anybody else thinking there was going to be a little bit of reddish hue?
It was going to be red. Yeah. I was
Okay.
like, okay.
And again, it's not that it's wrong. It's just I want that clarified, because I read it and I go, okay, that's brown and tan, but I better ask. So
I want
okay.
the gray metal trees out in front though.
We can find those. One match is all it takes.
That was good. That was good. Oh, man. All right.
I think it's good to clarify that, because we don't want painted block. We want a regular block.
Because it wears off and
Yes.
it starts looking splotchy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I totally agree. That's why I wanted to verify all that. So
All right. Yeah, ready for motion.
This is Commissioner Anderson. I'll make a motion to approve C-23-15 for storage unit facility located approximately at southwest corner of 840 South and 100 East with the conditions outlined by staff.
This is Bullock. I'll second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Anderson. I've got a second by Commissioner Bullock. Individual voting, Tebow. Shield.
Aye.
Bullock.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
I'm Hanson. I'm an aye as well. This one is, this conditional use permit is also passed unanimously, and we wish the applicant the best of luck. At this time, we're going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting, and here shortly we will be starting our Washington City Land Use Authority meeting here in just a second. I'll need to look for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Commissioner Anderson, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Shield, I second.
I've got a first and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the Planning Commission meeting has adjourned. I'm going to wait about 30 seconds for staff to do what they need to do, and then we will start our Washington City Land Use Authority meeting.
no, it's just that I'd rather they talk now than someone say, no, remember when we took that extra 5 minutes to.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. This is our third meeting, so bear with us as we go through this process that the state has handed down for us. Welcome to our Washington City Land Use Authority regular meeting. for March 20th, 2024. We will forego the invocation and saying of the Pledge of Allegiance, as we've already done that in our previous meeting. This time, I will look for a motion from the commissioners to approve the agenda outlined before us.
This is Commissioner Tupou. I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Anderson, I'll second.
Got a first and a second, all in favor? Aye. All right, the agenda is approved as is. I'll look for an approval of the minutes from our the second Land Use Authority minutes that we had on March 6th. I look for a motion for that.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I move to approve the minutes from our March 6th, 2024 land use.
This is Commissioner Tupou. I second that.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
At this time, Commissioners, any reason for any abstention or conflict that you have with any of the item on the agenda this evening?
I do not.
All right, we'll go ahead and hear item number 4A. This is a public hearing for consideration and approval for Salente Phase 1 amended preliminary plat located approximately Washington Parkway and Main Street. The applicant is Green Springs, Washington LLC. Turn the time over to Eldon for his report, staff report.
Thank you, Commissioners. The applicant is requesting approval of an amended preliminary plat for Salente Village 1, Phase 1 subdivision. This amendment is to reduce the overall lot count by one lot from the original 51 lots to 50 lots, covering an area of 28.94 acres. The applicant is requesting to remove one lot between lots 138 and 138 and 140, and adjusting the boundary of these lots to be bigger in size. No other changes are being made at this time. Staff recommends the Land Use Authority approve the amended preliminary plat for the Salente Village 1 Phase 1 subdivision based on the following findings and conditions as seen in the staff report. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thanks, Eldon. Commissioners, I'll open the floor.
So was it like a little lot coming in this way before? Is that what it was?
Correct. Yep, exactly.
You just, so you'd come in off of,
Yeah, there were three of them.
oh, yeah, that makes way more sense.
They all face the street. It's just gone.
Seems to lay out a lot better.
Looks fine to me.
Yep. All right, thanks, Eldon. Appreciate it. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody here in the chamber that would like to speak to this item? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. For the record, we did not have anything submitted online for public record as well, or public comment as well. Close the public hearing, and I'll open the floor back up to commissioners for either a motion or additional comments or concerns.
So, question, do we have a number on this to make a motion with, like we do in planning commission?
Did you say we have a number? I missed the first part. 4A.
Just 4A?
Yeah.
Okay, that's This is Commissioner Anderson. I'll make a motion to approve item 4A, public hearing for consideration of approval for Soliente Village 1, Phase 1 amended preliminary plat with the findings and conditions outlined by staff.
This is Bullock, I'll second.
All right, I've got a motion by Commissioner Anderson, a second by Commissioner Bullock, individual voting. Tupou?
Aye.
Shield?
Aye.
Bullock?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
I'm Hanson. I'm an aye as well, and the motion passes this body unanimously. And that is all that we have on the agenda for this evening. Is there anything from the commissioners or staff that needs to be brought before this body at this time? All right, I'll look for a motion from the commissioners to adjourn our Land Use Authority regular meeting.
Ms. Schill, I would move that we adjourn this meeting Did I say?
Second.
All right, got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, staff. Appreciate it.